So thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate it. And so this is Housing Debrief episode number 24. And just a little bit about me, quantitative economics, decision sciences major, UC San Diego, 29 years in the business. Looks like we're cutting off just a little bit, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. You might want to scoot over just a little too.
Like this, like that. I think we're good now. 29 years in the business, Orange County native, Capitol Valley High School grad, 9 kids, avid runner. You guys have heard it. I have 9 kids. I brought 6. My wife brought 2. I adopted her. She adopted mine. And we had this bonus guy. I love you, producer, director. So I was like panicking at the end, and she's just saying, calm, that's okay. So stuff that I missed we'll get to on Tuesday, but I got to all the housing stuff. But there's more that I wanted to say. I just shortened the other half of it. So my background is also I've been giving my stuff to various entities in the press world, and they've been sharing it among each other, and that's how I ended up across the United States and even in London with the Financial Times of London. So my Reports on Housing is my company, and most reports read the rearview mirror, the closed sales. But the reason why I've been so accurate, and people go, man, Steven, it feels like you really know what's going on in the market. And that's because I'm looking out the windshield, not really focusing on closed sales data. We're not even going to get the closed sales data for May until towards the end of June. For anybody that gets my report, it's after June 10th that then we're able to go ahead and crunch the numbers, because the numbers just don't look proper prior. So June 10th is about when we pull numbers for closed sales data. And so I don't really care that much about May or April closed sales data. I care about what's going on right now or in June. So I look at the active listing inventory, that's supply, and demand, last 30 days worth of pending sales activity. So that's the velocity. And from that, we're able to get the expected market time. If you place your home on the market today, when are you going to go into escrow? We'll talk about all that. So it's all about setting expectations for buyers and sellers. And in doing that, we have put together housing reports for Los Angeles, Orange County, Riverside, San Bernardino, and San Diego. So we have reports in all of them. And in future issues, I'll actually show you more of what the rest of the report looks like, because what people don't understand is it's not just static charts and stats. It's a lot of information where I'm talking anecdotally as to what is happening. Like I'm comparing in this last one, hotter than last year, things that are unexpected, like a nice love note to your spouse or wife or girlfriend, significant other. And that's unexpected if it's not for a birthday or anniversary or something like that. That's unexpected. So was this flip in the market. So that's what I kind of bring an analogy of what's going on in everyday life to the housing report. And then I also talk about active inventory. It has its own section, demand, then the luxury price range as well. And then I have a summary of everything, and I break down every single city in the counties one by one, comparing now to 2 weeks ago, to 4 weeks ago, to a year ago. And so you can get a flavor for where we're at, what's the velocity of the market, and in all the different price ranges we talk about price points, attached versus detached, and even have a disclosure, distressed report with short sales and foreclosures. That's going nowhere right now. That's a 2021 story, and it's not going to be that significant where you're really going to notice the difference. There will not be a wave. So, hi from Alana and Nana. Alana, our daughter, is spending the night at Nana's house, and it's her birthday coming up on Monday. Happy birthday, my little Alana, Joe. And so she's right now over there, and they're watching. So go to reportsonhousing.com, click on subscribe, and there's a frequently asked questions section as well as sample reports. So that's where you can kind of get a flavor for how I talk and all that is included in the reports. Comes out every 2 weeks. If you sign up, what we'll do is we'll send you the last one, and there are a lot of links at the bottom of the report. It has one that you can print out, one that you can copy, cut, edit, paste, make part of postcards, newsletters, emails. We have Excel spreadsheets, and we have charts and an excerpt for social media, Facebook, blogs, websites, all that good stuff. So it comes out every 2 weeks. We crunch the numbers on Thursdays, which is why it's such a busy day on Friday, because we're looking at the numbers from Thursdays. $15 per month or $150 per year. And you get a month free if you use the coupon code SPICY. That's the way I like my food, spicy. So, and the market, it's getting spicy. It's getting awfully hot. So I'd like to thank our sponsor. That's Antis Real Estate Photography. And I don't have my sheet in front of me, but perhaps my wife can bring it. We could do it at the end, and she's listening to this right now. But Antis Real Estate Photography, they I've known them for years. I was actually looking back, and they have asked me for data, stats, and all that stuff going back to, gosh, it seems like 8 years ago they were asking me for information. So they have been in the forefront of not just doing photography, but they want everybody, they partner with their agents to let them know what's going on. They have a bunch of professional photographers, and they in turn, they did a little study at the end of the year and saw that they can that taking professional photography through Antis Real Estate Photography resulted in listings selling a lot quicker. And that's what it's about. Look, receive 300% more online views when you use their 3D marketing, and then they sell your listing 30% faster. That's what they were talking about, that study they did at the end of 2019. And then your virtual staged homes will sell for 25% faster than vacant, unfurnished homes. So it's really an incredible service that they have. So please contact Antis. They're at 949-533-7369. That's 949-533-7369. And they can be reached at info@antisphotography.com. They are fantastic, and you can see some of their stuff at Antis Photography. But I definitely say reach out to them and have them do your professional photography. So thank you for your sponsorship, Antis. And we have some spring fun photos. And I don't know if you're at all like me, but there's been a little bit of this thing going around called Zoom fatigue. So I've actually limited the number of Zoom calls that I do on a daily basis, just because sometimes it feels like we're just having meetings to have meetings, and we're in all these different meetings, and we've learned so many different things. There's the roamer, the person that likes to roam while they're on a Zoom meeting, the person that's looking at their phone or doing something else. There's the person that's just a dark screen. They just have their picture up there because they're doing something else. We all know what that's all about. I love this. Being my profile pic versus being the Zoom meeting. I think that's great. How about this one? Audio only with video. Good stuff. And I love this. There's all these fun places for photos that are hilarious. And this one, living off the grid, first harvest. Planted my tomato plant on the first day of lockdown. Look at that tomato. That's great. How about this one? Save the date. The end of quarantine just around the corner. What is it? It's just announced. It's Octembrary 54th. Pretty funny. I like these masks. I think they're great. I want one of these masks so you can walk around and everybody stares at you and laughs at you. Yes, this is the way I look on a daily basis. So let's get into the Southern California housing market. The spring market has continued. We are back to a spring market. The spring market is here. We went way down and then we went right back up, and I will talk about that in great detail. The only thing that's really changed is active listing inventory. So from March to here, the inventory has gone up slightly, but it naturally typically does. So that's what typically happens. But recently, we've actually been coming down in the inventory. And last Thursday, a week from yesterday, we were at 31,055 total homes in the market. That was down 1% in 2 weeks. So kind of going the wrong direction. Last year, we were at 43,531. There's 40% more homes on the market last year than this year. So fewer homes. Today, we're at 30,456. That's down 2% compared to last Thursday. So we're going the wrong direction, which tells me we need to place more homes on the market. We're reaching the bottom of the barrel, so people are now just taking the stuff that's been sitting on the market for a little bit longer, that they're trying to negotiate something on these other properties that exist. But if you talk to the people out in the streets, they tell you that it is really hard to find listings right now. So the May 2013 was the last time we had this few of homes on the market, with 30,456. Compared to 2007, which everybody wanted to compare this recession that we're in the midst of, which is actually a pandession, in the midst of a recession, and it's but back then we had 115,000 homes on the market. That is a ton more than where we are today, nearly 4 times. So Los Angeles actually has 1% more homes than a week ago. So Thursday to Thursday, up 1%. Orange County is nearly identical. Riverside County is down 4%. San Bernardino County is down 4%. And San Diego County is down 2%. So a lot of these counties go in the wrong direction. And these are actually the 3 hottest counties. So the active listing inventory, the number of new for sale signs in the past 4 weeks is now only down 25%. Last Thursday, when I told you about it, was down 32%. So this is the 4 weeks looking at the last 5 years. What is the average number of homes coming on the market? 25% off. It was 32%, and it was as high as nearly 50%. So now we've cut it in half, and now we're putting on 25% fewer. So we were at a third fewer, now we're at a quarter fewer. We need to place our homes on the market, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. And this tells you in the different counties how it is off. LA County, this is the last 4 weeks compared to the 5-year average, down 24%. Orange County down 28%. Riverside County down 24%. San Bernardino County down 31%. Hey, San Bernardino, time to place your homes on the market. San Diego County 19% down. So they're the only ones that are really getting it, is San Diego County. So they have their velocity, the number of homes coming on the market, is actually finally getting back towards where it should be, but it's still off. It's off by 1/5. So COVID-19 is suppressing supply. It's losing its grip, but it's still there. It's still holding it back, the number of homeowners that are coming on the market. And that's kind of the story of why it's so darned hot right now, because demand is up there. So we have a definite supply problem. And I had to change my charts all around because, you know what, I'm just going in demand. There's no longer the showdown. The housing market is absolutely strong. I was telling everybody that you can't compare our housing stock now to the Great Recession. It is completely different. And people are wondering, how in the world are we getting all of these people to purchase right now if we have unemployment that is so high? Well, the real reason is because we have a ton of people out there that are gainfully employed. You know, we have about, 120 million employed right now. So that's a lot of people that can go out there, and some of them are going to be in the market to purchase a house. So that supply versus demand showdown is gone, done. Supply wins. It's low supply and demand is increasing. They gave up. Demand problem with Campfire Lemonade, no longer. That's no longer the case. We are, in the real estate industry, a bunch of chameleons where we were able to adapt and change our colors, do everything we need to do in order to sell homes, put on gloves, put on masks to people in, make the necessary appointments, have the necessary contracts, the stuff on the door, everything. We were doing everything the way that it was set out by the state, as well as the DRE, and our California Association of Realtors helped us with how we should prepare for it. It's just been, it was slow at first, but we really got it down, and now we all understand how to operate. And now we're able to sell lemonade. We're able to sell houses again with all the proper PPE, social distancing, and everything else that we need to do. COVID-19 is no longer suppressing demand, period. End of story. It's not happening. Instead, demand is sprinting down the track right now. And we have had the full V-shaped recovery. It is not just gosh, it is an incredible V-shaped recovery. And I'll show you why. Because here is where we were a week ago yesterday. May 28th, 15,554. That was up 25% in 2 weeks. And that was this period right here. And up here, this too was up another like 30 some odd percent up. So we added 3,671 pending sales from here to here. So extra. Down here is where we had inherent demand. And from that, we got where we started to see that that COVID-19's grip on demand was beginning to change as we got a small little spike in demand, and then boom, it just went straight up. And last year we were at 16,970. That's 9% more in demand than where we were last year. So this year to that last year, just 9% difference, and it's getting smaller and smaller. As a matter of fact, today demand is at 16,842, nearly the same as last year. By the time we get to next Thursday, I expect that this will surpass this and come in between these two right here, and that's where we're going to be. And it's going to be higher demand than where we were at prior to the COVID-19 lockdowns. So, and that is actually where we're at right now, is spring is back. It's actually come back to the point where we're up here, and it's pretty equal to where we were in March. March 5th, we were at 16,785. Today, 16,842. And so 16,785, this is what it was back then. I don't know why I copied that, but up 8%. That's up 8% from last Thursday. And this is only 7% off of last year. So you could see very close, or 0.7% off of last year. So nearly identical to last year. And we've surpassed March 5th. So what that means is that demand has rebooted, and we went way down and we've spiked up right to where we were for all of Southern California. It doesn't mean all the counties are exactly where they're at, and we'll get into that analysis for next week. But by the time we get to next week, it will be for all markets. But everything is coming back online as far as the spring re-engaging. It stopped, went down, and now it's re-engaged, and the spring continues. So the spring strength has actually been a pause, and normally we see things slow a bit right now, but because there's so much momentum in the market, and there was that pause, that spring is beginning right now, and we're going to see a little bit of a different summer than what we're used to. So we'll have to stay tuned for what that looks like, so we can properly convey that to our buyers and sellers so that they can make the proper decisions based upon the expectations of market reality. Is not what they think is supposed to happen in their head. So we've had that V-shaped recovery. It is there. And this is for LA County since last Thursday to this Thursday, up 8%. Orange County's up 11%. Riverside County's up 7%, San Bernardino County's up 9%, and San Diego County is up 7%. And this is the expected market time year over year, and you could see where it's at right now. So when you have the demand that falls off and the inventory was kind of the same, when demand stopped, we got this sharp escalation in the amount of time that it took for properties to sell. And this is expected market time. When you place your home on the market, when are you going to open up escrow down the road? I am not, and I repeat, not a fan of days on market. It is a statistic that I think we shouldn't even state to buyers or sellers or anybody else. It's a statistic that doesn't make sense, which is why when I represented buyers and sellers, I came up with expected market time. I came up with talking about the active inventory and the last 30 days worth of pending sales. And from that, you can gauge a real velocity of what's going on in the market. Because let's say that a whole bunch of homes have been on the market for a long time, and then all of a sudden interest rates dropped. Everybody went to sell it. And then new homes came on the market and they sold almost instantaneously as well. The average days on market wouldn't reflect what's really going on in the marketplace. The same thing is true for the opposite. Let's say nothing was on the market, a whole bunch of homes come on the market. All of a sudden, then the days on market, average days on market would drop like crazy. But let's say interest rates were high and everybody came on the market at the same time. The average days of market would be small, but the expected market time would be huge because there'd be so much supply, and yet demand might be off because interest rates are up. So you have to understand that days on market does not properly tell the full story. Last Thursday, we were at a 60-day expected market time. It was like 59.7. We had reached a hot seller's market for all of Southern California. SoCal on April 16th was 109 days. You could see how far we've come, which is why I state that so people understand, yes, it did slow down. That's not a buyer's market. That was actually a balanced market where it doesn't favor buyers or sellers. And SoCal last year was at 77-day expected market time right now. That's the orange line. So even last Thursday, we were below it. We were not only below last year, we were below the year before. And where are we headed right now? Gosh, we're at 54 days. 54 days is below this purple line, which is 2017. That's how hot it is in Southern California right now. It's like we're right where we left off back over here at the beginning of March. Draw a line across, and this is where we are right now. And who knows where we'll be a week from now. It just depends upon the number of homes that come on the market down the road. So March of 2020 is where we are as far as the expected market time. And I was comparing it to, gosh, much slower times. We hadn't seen a spring like this in a super long time. It was during the whole Great Recession period prior to the expansion. And here we are. We have expected market time of 54 days. That is hot. And as far as LA is concerned, they're at a 64-day expected market time. That's down 5 days in just a week. So now it's 64-day. So it was 69 last week. Now it's at 64-day expected market time if you place your home on the market today. Orange County is at 67 days. It shed 7 days in the last week. It's making its way towards a hot seller's market. Remember, you have to be below 60. They were in the 70s. They're in the 80s. Now look at them. They're getting close to 60. So by next week, probably we'll be at a hot seller's market across Southern California. Riverside County is at 50 days. That's down 5 in a week. San Bernardino County is at 44 days, down 6 in a week. And San Diego County is at 45 days, down 4 in a week. And that's partly because San Diego's putting on more homes. So for the first time since I can remember, San Diego is no longer the hottest county. I mean, they're close, 1 day off. San Bernardino County has the reign of the heavyweight champion of all of Southern California with the hottest housing market. That's San Bernardino County. And it's not a buyer's market. I'm sorry. You can't expect it to be a buyer's market. It's not even a balanced market. That's not happening. We know how to sell lemonade, and the slight seller's market, but making its way towards the hot seller's market is LA and Orange County. It's getting close. It means that there's not much appreciation, but at 60, in those lower 60s, it means that we're actually hitting some appreciation right now in LA and Orange County. That's what the overall flavor is. Some of the ranges, which we'll get into, it is very, very hot. And if you look at this, so Orange County and LA is absolutely knocking on the door of the hot sellers market, and that's where Riverside, San Bernardino, and San Diego counties reside right now. Hot sellers market. And when you get that hot sellers market, in a lot of the ranges, pretty much everything below $1 million, and in San Diego County and in San Bernardino Riverside, everything below $650,000. It's like you put out your net, price that property right, and have it all dialed in, ready to go. Price it right. That's the expected market time. What do I say? It's the, holy smokes. I'm going down a cul-de-sac right now. You want to price it according to its fair market value. Thank you, my brain. It's getting older. It's beyond it's older than 50 years. And so we're a little slow sometimes, but you want to price your home at the fair market value. And the reason for that is if you lose valuable market time, you're in trouble. You're absolutely in trouble because you end up missing out on the best time when everybody's like looking at their phones and they're looking at everything that's coming on the market, and they can't wait to for the new home to come on the market. When something comes on the market overpriced, they discount it. They might not even look at it, and then down the road, they're no longer excited about it when it has the price reduction. And if they just reduce it by the $5,000 or some $1,000 or those type of there are listings that we've seen that they've done those type of reductions. That's sending the wrong message when you're looking at this feed and it says price reduced by $1,000. You just don't want to see it. So, and we'll get into that in a later episode where I'll dive down into the fair market value and pricing it right, because if you don't, you're going to miss it. But if you price it right, you are going to get multiple offers. And you're going to get multiple offers. And the reason you want multiple offers as a seller is so that you can pit them against each other, so that when there's 5 offers generated, only 1 gets it. 4 do not, but you're pitting them against each other to maximize the value of your property. And the only way to do that is by properly pricing your property right out of the gate. If you don't, you're going to actually be sitting on the market for a little bit longer. And like I said, that's a recipe for failure. And it's also a recipe for getting less down the road. So, and we'll get into that with the numbers. I can prove that with stats and data, which is what I like to do. And I just have to say this: attention sellers, attention all sellers. Housing is hot. The time to list is right now. Please list now. When? Right now. Like, put your home on the market. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding, because when our market gets this hot, this is where we start to see appreciation. I don't like to see that much appreciation. Why? Because I'm an economist. If we have appreciation that is far outpacing inflation, you get something called a bubble. We have not really created a bubble. We just came back from where we were before, and we have the home affordability is through the roof because of low interest rates. But we don't want that to fuel demand so much that we start to outpace inflation, because then housing as a commodity becomes too expensive, and then it has to go down. So I'm hoping for more homes on the market. So this is my message to homeowners. If you're thinking about placing your home on the market, please place your home on the market. This is a really good time. It's like going to the ocean and you go, should I go in the water? And then you touch it and it's like 78 degrees. Come on, everybody. The water's great. Come on in. That's what we need. The water's great. Come on in. Low mortgage rate environment's fueling this. It's the jet fuel that is propelling us forward. And this was yesterday. We had a record low ever, 3.15% a week ago yesterday. Now it's at 3.18%, very similar. And if you do a lot of, if you have really good credit and you're putting 20% down, you can get 3% loans right now. So I would ask around, and can you imagine 3% loans? Holy smokes, that's an incredible loan. And I'm showing this, the 10-year Treasury. I haven't showed this a while because this mirrors what where interest rates should be. But recent, and this is all the way back in November of 2018 when we had 5% interest rates. And as interest rates fell, they fell all the way down to a low, 3.5% in September. Then they went up 3.75% all the way till we got to around February. And then they dropped like a rock. Now, then we had interest rates that floated down, but only for a temporary period when everything was broken, and then interest rates should have been lower, but they weren't. They actually spiked up a little bit, and then we're finally calming down. Things are going back to normal, and things are working again. And so there's been a lot of good news in this last week as far as the economy is concerned. Doesn't mean that we're back by any stretch of the imagination. Remember, this is like a really slow dimmer switch, but we've had the 10-year Treasury go up to 0.893. It's making its way up towards 1%. And one of the things that we're looking for is for it to float above 1% again. And it's getting close. That 0.893 is getting closer. So if it's above 1%, 1% is about where we should have 3% mortgage rates, maybe a little bit less. But that's why I didn't think that we could get interest rates lower than 3%, because I thought the 10-year would go up before we got interest rates below 3%. And that's exactly what's kind of happening right now, is we're getting the 10-year starting to elevate at this point. So this is good news. And it's because it follows good news in the overall economy with stats and data, not necessarily stocks. And but we do have extremely low interest rates. Just understand that. So the market overview, I wanted to get into this. This is shows you in LA where it's hottest, below 750. But like I said, everything below a million. Let's look at that below a million, and then we'll talk about the upper ranges momentarily, how they're improving, because they're a little bit different. And for attached, it's below 500,000 is really hot. 5 to 750 is a light, slight seller's market. And then if you look at OC, everything below a million is hot. Everything below a million. When you get towards 32-day expected market time, and this is actually as of yesterday. So if you get to an expected market time of 32 days, that is hot. And even 1 to 1.25 million is a slight seller's market. And now it's balanced right here. And these are approaching towards, it's going to be next week when 1.25 to 1.5 million is actually going to get into a slight seller's market, which means they get to call more of the shots. There's not a lot going on in appreciation. And as far as 250 to 750, hot seller's market, 750 to a million for attached. That's Orange County, slight. And look at this, Riverside County. From 200 to 650 is hot. Below 200 is slight, and 650 to 8 is actually a slight seller's market. And then for attached, we have 2 to 300 is the hot section, and everywhere else is a slight seller's market. It's more of a balanced market below, above 500,000. And then you have San Bernardino, the hottest market in Southern California. San Diego, you need to place more in escrow. But San Bernardino, you see this, everything below 650 is hot. Look at this, 2 to 300, 26-day expected market time. That 2 to 300 is caliente. And 650 to 8 is at 90 days, so it just approached slight seller's market. And then if you look below 500,000, all of it hot for condos attached. And then San Diego, everything below 1.5 million is hot. And look at this, 5 to 750, 24 days on fire. And for condos, it's below a million is a seller's market, below 750 is hot. That is San Diego. Now, as far as luxury is concerned, LA, they have a luxury market that starts a lot higher just because of their size, and they have a lot of really expensive real estate in Los Angeles. So 1.5 million plus, that's their threshold. Their expected market time today is at 189 days. It is dropping. I hear a kid off in the background. Maybe that kid can come over here and say hi. Oh, maybe that kid could go downstairs. I forgot my notes for Antis. It's on my desk. Oh. So I could say it at the end, and then you can come up here. Thank you. So it was at 509 days. Talk about an improvement. Look at this. Went from a 509-day expected market time to 189 days. I'm telling you this right now. I thought luxury was tapped and was done for 2020, and I didn't think it would really come back to 2021. But it surprised me. Housing has demand has surprised me. How quickly we came back up, and when it started. It started when we were in the midst of still a complete lockdown. We already saw demand going up as interest rates were going down. And thank you, my love, my darling.
People are also asking how they can get your slides after.
Yeah, people are asking if they can get my slides. If you are a subscriber to my housing report, then email me at steven@reportsonhousing.com. That's STEVEN@reportsonhousing.com. You can also instant message me. I will send it to you if you are a subscriber to the housing report. I'm doing all this, and this is as a favor to everybody out there. But as far as the actual content, I should reward all of my subscribers with the actual slide content. So expected market times at 509 days. Look at this. On March 5th, it was at 155 days. Very, very close, isn't it? Very, very close. It's getting there. And that's what I've noticed across the board. That was prior to COVID-19. That was the best that the market got. And for Orange County, 1.25 million plus, 153-day expected market time. They were at 322 days. So you can see everything is cut in half. Expected market times at 121 days was at 121 days. So it's making its way over to the where it was prior to COVID-19. Riverside County at 110 days, they're 650,000 plus. 110 days expected market time. Their expected market time was at 453 days on April 23rd. Their expected market time, March 5th, was 166 days. Riverside County is hotter than March 5th. How about San Bernardino County? Expected market time of 124 days. They were at 284 days. They were at 125 days on March 5th, so it too just became hotter in San Bernardino County. San Diego County, 1.25 million plus, 134 days, was at 316. Do you get the pattern here? Everything is improving. Expected market time on March 5th was 118 days. So you could see it's making its way to where it was. The rest of the county has, the lower right ranges, they've made their way back. The upper ranges I thought was going to take a lot longer, and it's already happening right now. So we'll just have to see. From week to week, it is getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And so I only have a couple slides on COVID-19. The first slide is, I don't even know if you can see this. Let's see, is that better? There. 6.7 million. 6.7 million. That is the total number of cases around the world. And that's the United States at 1.8 million. LA is the third most impacted county in the United States. I'm not going to get into all of Southern California. We know that LA is by far, has like half of all of California's coronavirus cases. You could see US is coming down, but it's not coming down as fast as other countries that had a more sweeping policy across the board on locking down and contact tracing and testing and all that stuff. And as far as countries that are the worst, remember Sweden? Sweden was that one that everybody said, look, they're not going to lock down. They're only going to do some protocols and all that stuff. They're not going to lock down. A couple things happened. Number one, they're actually going into recession anyways. And number two, their death rate is the highest in the world. And this is 5.29 per, deaths per million. So they have 5.29 per million people. So that's Sweden. And the United Kingdom, the United States is number 5. Brazil is moving up this list. It will be Brazil down the road will be number 1 because they are having a real issue down in Brazil. But I bring this up just so that you understand that we need to be mindful about how big this thing is and the potential down the road. And this is Sweden that I was talking about. Did it backfire? Well, they're actually now backtracking and they're coming up with a second plan as to what they're doing. But first, they're doing an analysis in their Congress that they have, and it might take time, which they don't have a lot of time because this is COVID-19 deaths per 100,000 population. If you look at it, they have 43.24 versus Finland at 5.76, Norway at 4.44, and Denmark at 9.94. And you remember how that upper the seniors that were the most vulnerable? Well, Sweden's seniors are really taking a toll right now. And yes, they are a bigger portion of it, but it has kind of gotten out of hand in Sweden. So just understand that all those people that were looking at Sweden and saying, well, look at how they're doing it, and they're not having that bad of cases. Well, roll forward a couple months, and this is what's happened. So hopefully they're able to control the spread a little bit. And I just bring up those things because I want to be mindful of a COVID-19 second wave. And why am I concerned? Because it'll affect the economy if we have to lock down again. So I think we all need to play our cards right, wear our masks, do the proper social distancing. Even I have to continuously remind myself, or my producer or director has to remind me when I'm not properly doing it, because that's what a good spouse is for. And so the macroeconomic outlook, so there's before the coronavirus, numbers looked absolutely awesome. And after the disease, numbers looked atrocious. We have what we call the waterfall effects or the spikes. And the spikes weren't good. That's unemployment. And the waterfall is everything else, right? So, and this is the initial unemployment claims. We're now at 42 million. So yes, it's coming down, but 42 million people initial unemployment. But you have to understand, unemployment some of these people have gone back to work. We were averaging, and this is just the initial week. This is not total this just shows you that we've had 42 million different people that have filed for unemployment. A lot of them have come back online. It used to be an average of about 212,000 per month would file for unemployment. So you could see what a gigantic spike it is. And The weekly continued claims for unemployment insurance, that's things that I am watching. And you could see that right now we're at about 21 million. That's where unemployment the number of unemployed resides right now. So it's not at that 40 million, it's at 21 million. Still a lot. But we're still saying that that they're probably, they initially did a survey of how many people thought that they'd come back online, and it was, they said 90% of everybody's going to come back to work. Now it's more like they're thinking about 75%, which would put our unemployment rate around 5 to 6 million after COVID-19 is done. So you have to understand that will be the damage from shutting down the economy. There will be those unemployed. So it won't be anything like the staggering numbers that we had before, and it will take us a while to come back to the historical low unemployment that we were dealing with prior at 51-year lows. It's going to take us several years to get back to that. And then I just brought up this is gasoline consumption. This is mortgage purchasing. It has gone up like crazy. Look at this. So mortgage purchase applications are up 18% year over year. Holy smokes. Remember when it was down here and it was off 33%? And then it stopped, and then it got better and better, and it was off just a little bit. It's up 18% year over year. That shows you the kind of demand there is for purchasing, yet we don't have enough homes on the market. Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner, place your home on the market, please. And then look at this. This is slowly closing the gap as well. And this is the number of showings. This is through CAR. It's actually, this is where we were. This is compared to 2019 showings. And look, it's back to where we were, 2019 showings. So our homes are getting shown just as much as they were a year ago. So that shows you, yes, it affected us, but it is back. This is housing. And this shows you that hint of stabilization. This is, let's see, non-manufacturing index. This is the Institute of Supply Management. These are just different things that I'm looking at where we're starting to get little bounces back. This is the beginning of a recovery, which is all fantastic. We're going to start to see this recover. It needs to recover more, but it's showing that we bottomed and we're coming back up. And just know that it's going to be a long slog before this thing comes back on. That's a term I like to use, a long slog. If you know what that is a long time. It's like the slow turning up the dial. We'll get there, and things will look a lot better later on in this year, but it's not going to be instantaneous. It's not going to be sudden. So, thank you for tuning in to my Housing Debrief, episode number 24. You can go to reportsonhousing.com and hit subscribe, and you get a month free if you use the coupon code SPICY. And then you can email me or instant message me, and I will make sure that I get you a copy of this presentation to use as well. And I have an FAQ and sample report section. And Antis Real Estate Photography. Thanks to my daughter, thank you very much. Antis Real Estate Photography has been servicing all of Southern California for 8 years. She's standing in front of me, offering a wide variety of marketing solutions such as photography, drone images, videography, 3D walkthroughs, and virtual staging. They tracked over 1,000 properties in the third and fourth quarters of 2019, and those homes sold for over 30% faster than the other properties on the market. Their customer service team, over 10 skilled photographers, and an in-house editing team will make your properties and personal brands stand out online. Make your first impression. Count on Antis Real Estate Photography. Get in touch with them at 949-533-7369. That's 949-533-7369. info@antisphotography.com. And that's all I have. Oh, I do have a daughter.
People are asking about your every other Friday thing. Your
oh yes, Q&A will be next week. Yes, we can't have a happy hour all the time. That would look silly. But yes, we'll have a happy hour Q&A next week. And I'd like to thank my daughter for just bringing me up my notes. And then I'd like to thank my wife, Tiffany Joe. She's so cute. You should say hello. She's so cute. She's shy and beautiful. But I want to thank her. She's my producer and director. It's a little bit higher, so you have to get up here. Yes, that's right. This is my daughter. This is our beautiful, we call her Sunny. She calls herself Sunny. Her real name is Athena. But we love her to death. And summer vacation started when?
Today.
I think
Woohoo!
Nana and Alana.
Oh, Nana and Alana. Nana and Alana. Say hi to Nana and Alana. We love you. We miss you. We're going to have a gourmet dinner tonight delivered to our... Just kidding. We love you so much. It's her birthday coming up on Monday. Happy birthday. She turns double digits, 10. Thank you very much. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you for joining us. Have a fantastic weekend. Hopefully we get some sunshine and we can get some vitamin D. Thank you very much. Have a super duper weekend.